an embarrassing fact about myself.
All right, we're live. We're officially live. All right, this is super cool. Whew, here we go. All right. Hello and welcome to the most must-see show in sports entertainment today, or at least podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at the UPHS Podcast and can help support the show by pledging some of your hard-earned money to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unprotected headshots in order to receive some awesome rewards and help support the show. I'm your host, Ryan Haft. To my right here is my beautiful girlfriend, Hailey Piana, and behind me is my roommate, Riley.
So,
Today is my buddy of a bunch of years, ever since I moved to Boca Raton, Josh Buckner, and my boy who runs University, Parker King. Right now is Carl Z, who should be joining us very shortly.
meanwhile, Riley keeps moving to the right to stay in frame.
Well, because Ryan needs to move over slightly.
I should move over
There
slightly.
you go.
All right, I'll still be in front of the Miller poster, though.
All right.
Miller sucks.
So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves to the audience of one viewer. Hello, by the way. We're going to go
Who is
through
watching this?
Yeah, really.
I have no idea. Welcome. You're our biggest fan. You did it. Donate to our Patreon and subscribe.
All right.
Smash that like button. Yourselves, you're gonna say your name, your favorite wrestler of all time, and one embarrassing moment you've ever had. So, for example, my name is Ryan. My favorite wrestler of all time is Triple H, and I once took my pants off on a cruise ship in the auditorium to win a keychain.
It happened.
We didn't win the keychain.
How do you not win the keychain?
Because they picked like a winner at the very end. We ended up winning keychains for like other events, but yeah, and that one particular thing, there's like giant teams.
All right, so we're gonna start with Hailey and work our way around.
Hailey, like you clearly just said twice. I only started watching 4 years ago, so at the moment, my favorite wrestlers are kind of the Hardy Boys, just because they're really fun. And I like the Jeff Hardy's intro. He does this thing, which I think is super fun. So
All right,
he's my
and
favorite.
one embarrassing moment.
Oh, gosh. I don't have a lot. I'm kind of flawless. I think for me, most embarrassing moment was when I was like 12 years old, if not younger. I was in the store with my parents and I accidentally grabbed a wrong person's arm as we were like leaving. And once I realized what had happened, it was the most embarrassing thing that happened to me. Has done that as a child. It's terrifying and embarrassing, and you want to like crawl in the corner and die. So that's what happened to me. That's my most embarrassing moment.
All right, Riley, who's your favorite wrestler, and what's your most embarrassing moment?
My name is Riley. My favorite wrestler, probably McFoley, because I think that guy is actually a pincushion, and I want to do
Great choice.
report on him. And my most embarrassing moment, hang on, let me think of a good lie.
Good choice.
He gets by being constantly embarrassed.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I am just constantly embarrassed at my whole existence. I mean, like, look at my chin. This is not the chin of a proud man.
That's a James.
We have our
Ellsworth
very
chin.
own James Ellsworth on the podcast.
Look at this profile. I look like
The big hog.
this moment is my facial structure I was born with.
You're
There we go.
beautiful. God made you beautiful.
All right, moving on. Parker, if you want to give us your favorite wrestler and most embarrassing moment.
The Enigma, Parker King. But favorite wrestler of all time is the rated R superstar, Mr. Edge. Greatest wrestler.
Woo!
Most embarrassing moment is definitely being an Enzo fan for a little while because he's the worst.
Why do you think he's the worst?
But he's from New Jersey.
That's
and
part of
that's
it.
The personality you need.
He's just the same thing every week. Bada boom, sit down and go home.
Well, we'll get into more about Enzo later. But before that, Josh, what is your favorite wrestler and what's your most embarrassing moment?
What's up, guys? I'm Josh. My favorite wrestler growing up was Kane. I just liked how kind of imposing, weird he was. Like, the first memory I had of him was when he electrocuted Shane O'Mac's balls. So I was like, yep, I like this guy. And then not the corporate stuff he's doing today, though. That's that kind of turned me off to him. But, back growing up, he was my guy. And then the most embarrassing moment, probably when I was in camp when I was really young, and it was like during the spirit rally when the entire camp was in the gymnasium, and then I got into it with this one kid I really didn't like, so I decided to pants him in front of everybody, but I accidentally pulled a little too much down, so everybody saw a little bit of everything of him. So even though he was more embarrassed than I was, it was embarrassing that everyone saw me do it to him and think I was trying to make this guy look naked to everybody. So I was like, oh, that's my oh crap moment.
All right. Well,
that's how you exert dominance, though.
Let's be honest, no one cares who's Carl's favorite wrestler. So
Carl's favorite wrestler is Eva Marie, and his most embarrassing moment is not being here on the first episode of the podcast when he said he would be. Carl will edit that out in post.
No, we're gonna make him keep it.
All right. So let's move right into the first segment of the night. We're going to be talking about and having a good conversation about Monday Night Raw. Ready?
Ready.
All right. The first segment on Raw on Monday was the Miz TV segment with Cesaro and Sheamus. Watched that or didn't watch that? It was then followed up by Ambrose and the Hardys coming down, just basically causing ruckus. Anyone want to lead in with that?
I will.
Okay.
Sure. I love The Miz because he lives his gimmick to me. I think that he just has this charisma about him, which is hard for a heel to do, because usually when you think of charisma, you think of, like a Sami Zayn kind of person who's just kind of bopping off the walls. But The Miz does it in such a way that I love to hate him, and I hate to love him at the same time. And I love listening to him speak. I love watching him wrestle, even if he does cheat a lot. But I'm okay with it. I also enjoy Dean Ambrose, but mostly only on the mic. Wrestling-wise, I could go either way. But them two together fighting over this Intercontinental Championship, I think has been the most entertaining thing. Just because Dean Ambrose sounds like he's drunk all the time, mixed with the Miz's snarkiness, it's the greatest thing.
Yeah, no, they definitely really go well together. And that's probably why, when they first got brought over to Raw, they put Miz with Ambrose because they already have so much chemistry. And the Miz can work off anybody, and Ambrose, no matter whether or not he's phoning it in or, like you said, pretends that he's drunk or is actually drunk, we don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the over-under on him actually being blasted during these?
I would say it's
over.
Greater than 50%.
Yeah, very over.
But yeah, so then the Hardys come down, and then they start jumping all over the place. Everyone's seen the GIF. Hardy keeps tweeting it out with different captions. It's hilarious.
It's so fun.
So that all led into the first match of the night, which was The Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus in 6-man action against Dean Ambrose and the Hardys. The Hardys picked up the win with Ambrose. And, what do you think about that, Josh? Was that good booking?
I mean, it seems like that's what they're kind of doing with every match these days. I was reading somewhere that WWE writing is kind of in this lull period right now where they're kind of just doing a bunch of mixed tag matches, just kind of pass along the show, and they're not really going to start to get to hardcore storyline booking and until they're preparing for SummerSlam. So
we lost our only viewer.
What?
No.
that's fair.
It's all good. I wonder if it was Carl and he's coming over.
Where is he, though?
I don't know. I hope he gets caught in this rain. All right, continue, Josh. While no one's watching, just continue.
No worries. Yeah, so basically, the match was fine. It was expected as usual. But, I kind of, I understand that that's kind of where they're going, right now. But, it kind of sucks that we have to wait to see, more in-depth storylines until, get a SummerSlam period. So it was okay though overall.
What's up, Parker?
Raw's got a bad case of making matches for no reason. I mean, there's no reason that The Miz should be fighting with Cesaro and Sheamus on his team. That did not get me excited for Miz versus Dean or the steel cage match. It felt like there's no build. And Raw's just got a bad thing of having terrible go-home shows before pay-per-views. The worst show of Raw is always right before the pay-per-view, and it should be the best one every time.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. It definitely should be.
They just got 3 hours to fill, and there's only so many permutations of the fighters they can do. It's probably why Sheamus and Cesaro fought the Hardys like 8 times in a row now.
Yeah, well, I understand why they're doing this, though. You know,
It's because the Revival's hurt. That's why they're flying in there.
There's nobody else in the tag team division, so we already know that Dean Ambrose and The Miz, that match is going to happen, and we already know there's going to be another Sheamus Cesaro versus the Hardys, which, like Riley said, we've already seen since every week since WrestleMania. It's been ridiculous, and so I think with this, the only reason why they did it was to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, get people hyped up for both matches by just kind of squishing them together.
All right. Really good insight. The most important thing that I think happened during this entire segment is the end where Corey Graves walked off for seemingly no reason. It looked like he got a text and then walked away. We then find out that it was about Kurt Angle, and he approaches Kurt with some damaging news about Kurt Angle. Coming up soon, pun intended. You know, and then we get the Elias Sampson match.
Man, this guy needs the belt. Give him the belt quickly.
Give the Drifter the belt. Which belt?
The IC title, man.
7 of them or so being out there.
He's good. He's good. I like him.
All right. So I can't tell what is he a heel or a face?
He's a heel. He's definitely a heel.
He's a heel. All right. And he beat the shit out of a guy named Zach Evans. Zach Evans is a local jobber who nobody knows who he is. I didn't do any research into him, so I'm not going to let anyone know who he is. But Elias Sampson, you know, his whole thing is amazing. He's like the only guy with like a real gimmick that's doing it right.
He's like the worst, but it makes him the best.
Right. Oh, no, I love the segments when he's just walking backstage with a guitar and just like interrupting things. It's perfect. I love it.
I hope he continues to do that because I know he debuted and
put on a hell of a match with Dean in his debut too.
Yeah. Sampson, I mean, he was on NXT for the longest time, and I'm really happy they brought him to Raw because, God, 3 hours, you need a little bit of something happening as far as comedy's concerned. We got our viewer back.
Same one.
I can't tell. It doesn't let me know who's watching. Let me know right now.
If you're the same viewer, press that subscribe button.
And he's gone!
Hey, you made him feel uncomfortable.
That does happen.
We just stop drawing attention to it.
I'm just excited. All right, so then after that match, Graves comes back to the announce table. Yeah, Graves comes back to the announce table, and you know it's all fine and good. And then we get a segment with Samoa Joe is backstage watching Finn Balor's 24, which is on the network. It was really, really good. I don't know if you guys watched that. I saw it before TakeOver. Fantastic, documentary. Joe's doing his thing, talking about how shitty Finn Balor is and how much he'll beat him up because he's done it before. He gets cut off by Bray Wyatt, who talks about Brock Lesnar for a pretty significant amount of time, not even addressing the other guys about their match coming up, just addressing Lesnar and how he's the guy who's going to beat the Beast. Then we get Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe versus Bray Wyatt, which they said was the main event of one of two main events. In my opinion, the last match is always the main event, but this should have been the main event.
Back to the Joe thing real quick. Joe watching Finn Balor's 24 is the greatest Joe move ever because it keeps him as the cerebral guy who's studying. And he's going to beat the crap out of him because he's studying his weaknesses, and it's perfect for what Joe is. Joe needs to be the Triple H, the cerebral assassin. He's got to outsmart his opponents by beating them up.
I like that.
I like it too. My only question is, because he still technically has that feud with Seth Rollins, but that kind of seemed to go a little bit on hold this week.
Yeah, he definitely should have interrupted that match, but we're skipping ahead there. But
we'll get to that later, and you can talk about Rollins all you want because I know you're itching to do it, Parker. the ending to this match was my favorite thing in the entire night because it cemented for me how cool Samoa Joe is. So, the only face in the match, Finn Balor gets up to the top rope to pull off a coup de grace, his signature move. Everybody loves it. He stomps on Bray Wyatt's chest from the top rope. Out of the ring by Samoa Joe, and Joe picks up the win, pinning Bray. I think this was excellent booking because Finn got his move in, the win, and Samoa Joe finally got, a good win, made him look like a good heel stealing one.
Yeah, no, it kept them both strong. Finn looked strong. He didn't really lose. He didn't eat the pin, and then obviously Samoa Joe picked it up, and then I think it was expected that Bray Wyatt was going to eat this pin somehow.
Bray eats another pin.
Yeah, Bray's always the guy to eat the pin, it seems like.
I'm curious. Is anybody else done with Bray Wyatt? Because when he first debuted,
Bray Wyatt for a year.
I'm like, oh, this is really cool what he's doing. At one point I thought, oh, once the Undertaker retires, he can take on that role of this crazy cult leader. And since he's lost the title, even when he had the title at SmackDown, I was disappointed with pretty much everything that he did. And now I don't even see him as a threat. Yet he still does his creepy.
He's lost too many big matches.
He's not scary. He's not intimidating really in any way.
It's too.
The only thing that they're doing right with him is that they're booking him horribly. He had so many times to have so much momentum and just win, and they just
when he pinned Cena twice.
Exactly. So
he should have been the champion about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the only thing they're doing right with him, it seems like, is Sister Abigail. Nobody kicks out of. I have not seen him. I could be wrong, but every time
I don't think I've ever seen anyone kick out of it. Yeah.
So it seems to be the one thing. It's Sister Abigail. It's
protected character.
What?
Protected move. He's not a protected character.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if he hits it, he'll win, but doesn't mean he always hits it. I really wish they would book Bray to win matches consistently. He shouldn't lose a match for another year.
I think the big problem was it should have been him to beat the Undertaker, but they couldn't make the Undertaker lose twice in a row. So obviously, at the time they didn't really know what Bray Wyatt was going to be, but they gave it to Brock Lesnar. I think had they not given it to Brock Lesnar and they given it to Bray Wyatt, it would have been, his career would have gone so differently from that point on.
I just think they wasted the Cena rub.
Wrestling would be different. You don't even, because Bray Wyatt would be, if wrestling was a tiered system, Bray Wyatt would be S tier, and right up there with Taker right now. But now he's B+ player. It is probably the best explanation. Bray Wyatt is B+ player. He should be in main events, and they do put him there or pull the trigger on him.
His feuds intrigue me. When he starts a feud with someone, I'm intrigued because I don't feel like he's overshown too much, and it's just I'm so bored of him already. But it's they just always drop the ball. It's this is intriguing, but I know he's going to be the one to take the fall. So that's the only problem I have.
The Wars match wasn't the most exciting thing ever.
It was probably the most exciting gimmick segment of the last month, and we'll get to one that was worse in a bit.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Can we just skip that?
We're going to talk about it.
I'm going to interject real quick. The only thing I could see that can bring Bray back from this precipice would be for them to work an angle to where he's at a midlife crisis and he's completely out of it. So he's lost the title. He's lost the anything. He's got nothing more to lose. I challenge WWE to book something where he's kind of is.
Well, they almost did that with the Randy Orton thing and they threw it away when he burned down the house.
Go full with it.
He did hit Randy with a refrigerator.
I'm talking about career-wise, I want to see him start winning. And if they do that and they book it this way, or even a different way, but with the same storyline, I think it'd be really interesting to see what becomes of him.
All right.
They can make him a champion.
The next match on the docket was Noam Dar with Alicia Fox versus Rich Swann and Sasha Banks picking up the win.
Foxy.
Alicia
I can respect
Fox.
this because I think it's gonna turn into Sasha giving 205 Live the rub so she can be back in the title picture. I think this is getting a little ahead of itself for predictions, but I think Bayley loses this weekend and Sasha faces Alexa Bliss next because that seems like the right feud.
That would be a great feud. I want Sasha to be a heel, though, eventually, at least.
They should have pulled the trigger a long time ago with that. But I don't know what they were thinking with not pulling the heel.
Such a better heel. All right, but getting back to the match, I think the person who looks the best coming out of all of this storyline is Alicia Fox, who prior to the storyline had not won a match on WWE television since I think 2013.
Goddamn.
That's insane.
So Alicia Fox has been on TV consistently for like a month now, and I'm super happy to see her. She was one of my favorites during her crazy run where she like threw soda at people. I'm super happy to have her because Raw definitely needs I've been saying it since before the brand split. They need more women to be showcased on their show.
Yeah,
Nia Jax would think so too.
Nia Jax, I agree with her. I usually don't like Nia. I agree with her %. If you want to be a woman and you want to wrestle, go to SmackDown because Raw ain't doing it for you because they got 4 people at any given time who those are the only people who get to be on TV.
Yeah, like Alexa Bliss is the only saving grace of that division.
Right. Okay, so after that match, by the way, so do any of these like matches that feature the cruiserweights make you want to watch 205 Live?
No, I don't even watch the cruiserweight matches. I just zone out.
I mean, Noam Dar won the rematch the next night in 205. Like, the matches are good, and I like some of the characters, but they need. I think it's still getting there. It's one of those growing pain processes where they're just still trying to, get it cemented. And like I think eventually people start to watch it because the storylines are getting better. Like when it first started, 205 Live was literally just, oh, here are cruiserweights, watch them wrestle, but not do the flippy stuff that you saw, in the classic. So right. I think now that they're kind of building the characters, it's starting to cement itself. So it's going to take more time, but we'll see.
I think more time is necessary. They need some more exposure. I think this is a good way to do it by getting, by getting the women involved. Maybe we'll get some more superstars over on 205 Live to help them out.
Put Apollo Crews on 205 Live. There's no way Neville weighs under 205.
He's short though. I mean, like I don't know. Apollo Crews looks well over 205. Like he's not like the tallest guy in the world, but he is jacked. He's got to be at least 220.
Right.
Baggy T-shirt, so no one can tell that, and then stays under 205.
I don't even think you can hide that with him.
How would you cover it?
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Next on the docket is the Revival's interview, where they said we're not the ones who killed Enzo.
That's because Cass did it.
We'll get there. Cass.
I can argue that be Kurt Angle even.
Huh?
I might argue that it was Kurt Angle who like.
That's my prediction too, or at least someone under Kurt Angle.
Because like Corey Graves also hates Enzo, so I think that's why he went back. I was like, oh shit, like someone knows that you did this. So I don't know. Like I could see it being Kurt Angle.
All right, so
but why? What was the driving force?
Because I think at some point they're gonna get Kurt Angle to wrestle again, and I think they're just trying to ease him in somehow. Like, yeah, Enzo's kind of below him because he's Kurt Angle, but
all right, so Kurt Angle versus Enzo Amore, WrestleMania 34, New Orleans. Book it.
Hell no. God.
I thought they were trying to get Kurt Angle back by saying someone was trash talking him on Twitter like he cares.
That was our first speculation.
Yeah, it was just someone came out with like news about Kurt Angle and sent it for whatever reason to Corey Graves. I think it's Stephanie McMahon because the ratings are down and
she's definitely coming back soon.
Every time the ratings are down, they bring them the McMahons back.
Like, why would Kurt Angle be worried if Stephanie McMahon was behind it? Like, I don't know. It's just like
because she's still his boss.
Yeah, but like still, it's like, well, that's her deal, not my deal. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I definitely think it's a way to bring Stephanie back, this whole angle.
All right, so who would be – all right, so –
this whole Kurt Angle?
Every week for the last 2 weeks, Enzo got clobbered, and we don't know what happened. Who would be the weirdest surprise person to keep beating Enzo up every week that would make you mark out?
I guess it's got to be Cass, because I want the Cass heel turn.
But I don't think Cass is ready for a single run on his own. He can't.
He does not need to be with Enzo anymore.
There are worse talkers than him, though, that have their own thing going.
I guess.
I say Rusev. He's done it before. He'll do it again.
Rusev's on SmackDown.
Well, we don't know after this whole superstar shakeup. He could have moved. We don't know. We haven't seen him. He's been gone.
No, this shakeup made him go to SmackDown.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
I still think it's Rusev.
She still thinks it's Rusev. So let's put money on it. If it's Rusev, Hailey gets $100 from each of us. If it's
that's not happening.
But Rusev,
We all get
$100 from Hailey.
Haley's broke. Okay,
I will
Hailey.
honestly not take that.
No,
because
no.
Oh,
Hailey.
I didn't tell you guys. I've been watching wrestling for like 3 months now, so I am an idiot. Don't listen to any of my opinions.
How about if Haley's wrong, Riley? Riley pays everyone $100.
All right.
Let's do that.
What's the next segment?
Next on the list is Kalisto wrestled Titus O'Neil. Surprisingly, didn't actually fight Cruz. I thought it was going to be Apollo Crews coming out. Titus O'Neil is back to being a wrestler again.
$1 million moves, baby.
Hoorah, hoorah, hoorah. I liked him as a speaker more than a wrestler because he's just so weird as a speaker because he's gigantic. And like the only consistent valet we've had in the last 5 years has been Paul Heyman.
You could throw Lana in there.
Yeah, you could throw Lana in there.
Yeah. I like the angle though. It's like
I also love Titus O'Neil rolling a guy up with his tights because he's so big. So it makes zero sense for him to have to beat him with tights, but it's great. I love the Titus brand thing. I hope it continues.
It's the best. All right, so this is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Is it the Bailey one?
Bailey, this is your life. In my opinion, the worst segment on WWE TV in about ever.
There's one worse segment.
Old Day is nowhere near as bad.
The doctor one with the club is pretty bad.
Gallows and Anderson.
And Dana Brooke.
I actually laughed during that. I thought that was fun
because he had Big E at like it was at his expense, and I thought it was anything with the New Day is funny.
The Old Day is up there.
It made Dana Brooke fun for like 30 seconds before she returned to her gimmick of being He-Man.
He-Man.
So we all know what happened with This Is Your Life.
They literally tried to turn the best WWE segment into I don't know what. They made it the worst.
Just for a rundown for purposes of this being a show,
what's her face?
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
The goddess of WWE.
Talked about all the things that Bailey did in her childhood, brought out her old 4th grade teacher, her ex-boyfriend, and her best buddy.
Ex-best buddy.
And then like a giant table full of teddy bears and ponies and her yearbook and all this stupid.
And the best friend
crap.
and the ex-boyfriend start making out for some reason.
This leads me to believe that Vince hates Bailey.
I hate Bailey now too. Congrats, Vince.
We all know how much I hate Bailey and her.
I never liked Bailey either. Her finishing move just the stupidest thing.
Well, because Big E does it. It's the same move.
Oh, but it's easy when Big E does it because he's large. So
yeah, but it's also not as
finisher. It's gonna hurt with Bailey. She's like 90 pounds soaking wet.
They just picked a move that looked closest to being a hug and said, "That's it."
That is true. I think that's what happened.
Exact thought process.
Yeah, so you ready for a bombshell?
What?
I kind of don't hate Bailey.
Why?
Because she's the only female in any roster that's not her whole gimmick isn't I'm pretty bitchy.
Yeah, her gimmick is I'm 7. She's literally Eugene. Like
no, Eugene was
Naomi's isn't bitchy.
Well,
okay, yeah, Naomi isn't either.
Well, in order to make a woman seem like tough and hardcore, you kind of have to make her a heel. And in order to have a good fight against people, you have to have a heel balanced with a face. So to try and make a woman be a good girl, yet still try to come off as this person.
All right, I'm gonna shut this down right now because we're we're way behind schedule. We've been talking about Raw for way too long, and I want to get to SmackDown and NXT.
I wonder why. Maybe it's an indicator of how long the show is.
Yeah.
It's almost as if
It's a 3-hour show. It's
If we have to change formats and do Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or we could skip NXT, we can do that.
Yeah, we can skip NXT.
All right,
The
we'll
only thing
skip.
that's important is takeovers.
what happened in NXT.
All right, so after this, we had Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher. Aries made Neville tap out.
It's a great match,
Jack Gallagher versus.
but I'm tired of them fighting.
Once again, one of those things I've seen so many times, I'm tired of it.
This is the
Aries
first
gotta win the
time
belt
that
this
Neville
weekend.
has tapped out or been pinned since coming back to WWE as a heel. In his new gimmick, this is the first time he's lost.
You got to give Aries the belt this weekend. It's the only way. There's nobody that can fight Neville right now.
Yeah.
Right, and you give it to him, and then you probably get Neville versus
Rich Swann later again.
Swan, who looks good,
Yeah,
looks real good coming off a feud, with Sasha Banks on his side.
he can dance.
All right,
Is he done with
then
it?
all right, Jack Gallagher, do something with him instead of just making him lose to things, because he's really, really fun to watch. And when they did push him for like that 3-week period, I really wanted him to be Cruiserweight champ. But it is what it is. Next match is the main event, the true main event, because you can only have one. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. A match we've seen a few times.
This was the most boring iteration of it.
It was so good.
Roman Reigns wins after hitting two Superman punches and a spear. To Rollins, I don't think he got any signature moves in.
Rollins
No, he went for his knee thing, and then Reigns speared him.
And he missed.
But
I think
Rollins
that's
did a lot of pretty good hits in. He was trying to get really creative, and Roman Reigns no-selled him on anything.
So Roman Reigns now holds wins over recently over Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, cementing himself as the number one face on Raw.
Do you think he's a
forward.
face? I think he's turning heel right now, or he's definitely leaning into being a heel.
I don't think he's anything, honestly. I think he's literally just like, I am what I am and deal with it.
I'm the big dog.
Yeah. I mean, like, my only problem with
If Roman Reigns ends up being the number one contender against Brock
He won't.
Lesnar, he'll have to remain
no, it can't.
until then. But if he wins the title off of Brock Lesnar and then has to defend it, because I'm okay with Brock kind of going away for a while. I know
I'm tired of the
going
belt
away.
being off TV.
If Roman Reigns just has the belt, then it gives him a better opportunity to go heel as other faces try to take the belt away from him. So
yeah, that makes sense.
it makes sense in that timeline. But I'm not a Roman Reigns fan. I don't particularly care.
My only problem with Roman Reigns is, like, I think he puts on good matches. The only thing I hate about him is, like, whoever he's competing against, they can literally throw the entire kitchen sink at him. He'll still kick out of everything. And anytime he just needs to hit one goddamn spear, and then the match is over. It's like all that, like all what, like, Rusev did when they had that, like, chain match. All that, Rollins did when he hit all those big moves. It just doesn't matter. He's going to kick out in two, and it's going to happen. And it's like all of a sudden, it's one thing if they booked it where, like, they kick out of Roman's stuff too, but it's like spear done. It's good night, and I hate that because it makes the other person look so bad, even though they put on such a good match.
Yeah, no, Roman Reigns he can win matches, but he's got to stop kicking out of other top guys' finishers if they're not allowed to kick out of his.
Yeah, I mean, like at least Rollins didn't get to use. He hasn't really used this new finisher all that often. I only seen him use it like once. Or
On
twice.
Joe, right? I think that's the only time I've seen it.
It was
He did
on
it to Joe.
Carl Anderson. I think he debuted it on Carl Anderson. I'm not sure if he hit it on Joe. I forgot.
All right.
Speaking of Seth frickin' Rollins.
You got 2 minutes to talk about what we won't interrupt you. We won't say anything.
It's not going to be
You got
that
2
long.
minutes to talk about Seth Rollins. Ready, set, go.
Man, I'm just so upset with the Seth Rollins booking. Like, Seth Rollins is the blue chip WWE guy. Like, he could be the best guy in the business for years to come if they didn't book him as a babyface by making him a whiny little bitch because Triple H didn't help him anymore. Like, it is made Finn the top babyface in WWE now when Rollins should be that top babyface. As much as I love Finn Balor, and I'm in the total Finn Balor mark, Rollins is the best guy in WWE if he's booked correctly.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah, his face turn wasn't really done properly. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm a face now. Here I am.
I'm a face because Triple H doesn't want to help me anymore. So, like, screw Triple H. I'm going to be a good guy.
Yeah, then they took too long.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, their match at Mania was expertly done. That was a great match, Rollins versus Triple H. And it did cement, you know, that is a good – it was a good face turn,
But they also waited way too long for that match. And I understand the reasoning behind it. But it was the worst.
Couldn't talk for 6 months. But it is what it is. Seth Rollins, I agree with you. The booking has to be at least up to par with Roman's.
He's got to be like an outlaw guy. That makes the most sense for him.
Yeah.
Like he comes back like Triple H comes back. When he came back from injury like forever ago, he came back and didn't care about the rules, and then he eventually leaned into being a babyface. But
yeah, that was very different because, I don't know, but the problem is he came back from injury, and then he was automatically a face. You know, when Rollins came back from injury, they like made it a point to be like, oh no, you're still going to be a heel, and you better make sure everyone knows you're a heel. You know, and they had like, you know, when Triple H turned, you know, was a face, you know, he had him slowly turn on Stephanie, who was still a heel and who then aligned with Jericho, you know, for WrestleMania. And so, you know, it's like, who is Rollins, you know, major foil other than, you know, the one Triple, because they took too long with Triple H, I think, you know, like too much waiting. And that was the problem. Like with, you know, with Triple H and Stephanie, when he was a face, it happened right away.
On to the Blue Show?
Huh?
I said on to the Blue Show?
Yeah, let's talk about SmackDown Live.
We're like over
on
time.
Yeah, we might. What time is it?
It's like 7:04.
7:07.
We got the Carl update. Did you see?
So we might go a little over.
Yeah, we're gonna go over, but that's okay. We don't have to talk about NXT. We'll cut that out.
I don't even remember NXT.
Fair enough.
So that's fine. SmackDown though. Kevin Owens, the highlight reel is now his show. Jericho is gone for the foreseeable future. He said on Twitter, if this is my last run and I don't come back, that's okay with me. He's coming back.
He says that every time.
What?
He says that every time and he comes back.
I know, but I think he just really enjoys playing rock music. He had the #1 rock song of the summer so far.
This is good.
But
he's touring.
So the highlight reel, the guest is Shinsuke Nakamura, who I cringe whenever he's on TV, not because of him, but because they call him the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura, the rock star Shinsuke Nakamura, whatever. Corbin comes out, interrupts, says whatever Corbin always says about, you should be talking about me.
Beating up Sami Zayn.
I wear pants with bow ties on them.
Yeah, he says, I beat
rabble.
This clip of me beating up Sami Zayn like it's an actual like accomplishment. Everyone
like, everyone has beat up Sami Zayn. Yeah.
He lost to Sami Zayn like twice in a row, and he's like, but I hurt him. So
well, one of them, I think it was either Kevin Owens. I think it was Kevin Owens who mentioned about how you showed this 5 minutes of you beating him up, but what about all the times that he beat you?
I've been beating him up for 16 years.
Oh, yeah.
Zayn, then Corbin comes out down to the ring. They start blabbering about whatever. Sami Zayn comes out to help Nakamura fend off the two heels, and that was the lead-in for our first match, which is
holla.
which was the lead-in for the first match. Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens.
Not a bad tag match.
Yeah.
Not a bad tag match. They completely ripped off Raw, though, with their let's have a show with a heel, call people out, have people come down, tag match.
Yeah.
Like I said, the booking should be lazy until SummerSlam.
Blame Mick Foley's son. He's a writer.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked this match way better than the Raw counterpart. just because these were three guys that I could get behind and that I really enjoy watching them fight. Nakamura. I need him to start talking without the mouthguard in, just so we can understand him a little better. But him and Sami Zayn, I think, were a really good tag team together. They both had, some fun charisma.
Some great hot tags.
Exactly, some great hot tags. Kevin Owens will put on a great match regardless of who it's with, regardless of what team he's on. I think he's got major skill and he's a good champion. So I enjoy watching him. Baron Corbin has got the personality of a wet mop. I can't get behind him at all. And, I get he's supposed to be like this big, scary dude who's also really quick and who should be extremely lethal.
Yeah, but so is Braun Strowman, and he weighs 150 pounds more.
Exactly. I read an article a couple months back that was talking about WWE and their new monsters and how Braun Strowman is taking over kind of the position of where Kane and Undertaker used to be, but also that Baron Corbin was going to be doing the same thing for SmackDown, which I agree with. I think it's fine, but he's not entertaining for me to watch. I think his whole thing is
that's fair.
It's all about me, and I don't care about you. So
he sounds like a guy imitating a guy who's trying to be a bad actor.
See, my problem with Baron Corbin is when I see him, I don't think scary dude. I think, dude, you need to wash your hair.
Yes. I am on team haircut for half of the WWE roster.
It's the next match.
Next match is, well, it wasn't much of a match. We only had a few matches. It was the Usos celebrating beating.
Great segment.
Oh, yes.
With the returning New Day coming out to interrupt them, I marked out like a little baby girl. I was so excited to see New Day finally back on TV. I forgot how much I love them.
Two of the best groups of talkers in the WWE.
Yeah.
Day one is
I think it's just Vince lets them do whatever they want because they sell the most merch out of any other tag team. So they come out, they do their thing, they hoist Kofi up with his legs spread and start dancing, and it was very awkward for everybody, but fun for me. It's gonna set up.
They always hoist Big E.
They hoisted Kofi.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he was keeping his legs to show off how his leg is not broken. So
sets up in the Money in the Bank match.
Sets up their Money in the Bank match, which should be a amazing
great match. They used to work together great on Raw, so I'm excited to see it a year down the road.
And these we don't give enough credit. The heel Usos are best. They've been there for a long time. They know how tag team works. I've never seen a better heel tag team in probably the last 10 years that sound like they're bad guys, get legitimate boos, and their movesets are bad guy movesets. They don't do
them and The Miz are literally the only heels that get booed anymore.
Right. And everyone used to cheer for the Usos.
I like the Usos. Here's my only worry with them. It's they do great promos, but they seem to be the very same format every week. It's one of them says something, then one of them comes back with a one-word retort, then another says the other thing, then another one-word retort. It's the same thing. It's you know what I'm talking about?
So it's going to wear thin on you quickly is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's starting to be okay, you kind of said the same thing last week. It's different wording, but it's literally it's the same formula. One guy comes back with kind of a jab, and then he ain't nothing, da-da-da-da-da, he ain't nothing, that kind of thing, or whatever it is.
I got you.
Nope.
Yeah, I like it. I think the intensity is real, and it makes me want to watch their tag matches.
No, I like the intensity, but I just think if they're going to do that same format every week, I'm going to kind of get bored with it.
All right, so they need to mix it up a little bit, in your opinion.
Yeah.
Then the next thing that happens is another episode of the Fashion Files. This one in an LA Noir kind of crime scene investigation kind of deal. I love Breezango.
I think they're gimmick.
Tyler Breeze being undercover all the time needs to happen for a couple more weeks at least.
But
they can't do it every week forever, though.
I'm saying they could milk that for a lot longer before I get sick of it because it's still so much fun.
As long as they keep it relevant and they keep.
That was definitely Lana's silhouette, though. In the
we all thought it was gonna be Lana.
Yeah.
And we were that would make no sense at all.
They've been doing those commercials.
Oh,
I mean,
she's
they
a new
could've
ballroom dancer now character, so Fandango is also a dancer. So.
Honestly, I can't wait to see that train wreck because it'll be on TV for 3 weeks, and they're gonna be like, "All right, Lana, this is not working." Go back."
Apparently, she's a pretty decent wrestler at like the house shows in NXT.
She might be.
Fine, but the gimmick is gonna be dumb, and everyone's gonna hate it.
They're going back.
Fandango without all the fun of Fandango.
Like going back to Breezango, like what are they gonna do now?
All right, well, that's it's their segment on Fashion Files. Would set up a match later, kind of against the Colognes. But before that, we had the women's Fatal 5-Way.
Great setup for the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, talk about it. Basically, the match was all the women on SmackDown's roster who are gunning for the championship belt, finding out who the number one contender is, but for whatever reason, they never get the match started. They start beating each other up inside the ring, outside the ring, all over the arena.
Cat fight.
Out completely done. And Shane O'Mac comes out and says, all right, we're going to do something historic, and we're going to put together the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Good setup for that, for like introducing that match. I think they did it the right way.
I would expect Lana to be in that match.
As
She'll be
how many
back
people
later.
are in it right now?
5, I think.
So you need 6 for the match, right?
Well, you got Carmella, we have Natalia,
Tamina,
Tamina.
Charlotte, Becky. You
She
need
got like
one
the
more.
intro of like Batista.
All right, so Lana
do
just
that.
is in it,
Yeah.
or does she have to?
I think so.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, if you're having the entire
It's gonna be-
entire roster, which is currently those 5 women,
Yeah.
then go ahead and throw her in.
All right, throw her in. I don't think so. Who wins it? We'll get to that.
We'll do that later.
We'll do that later. We'll do predictions.
That's not the same pay-per-view. That's weeks off, man.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so from right now, who wins? Who wins that match?
Charlotte.
I think Carmella gets her tiny push right now.
I'm still gonna go with Charlotte. She never really got her true rematch with Naomi like she really should have. Like, I don't know.
I think
think
Ellsworth does some
Ellsworth
schmozzy
gets her-
shit, and Carmella wins.
I agree 100%. I think Carmella wins due to James Ellsworth.
Or Ellsworth takes the belt down and gives it to Carmella.
Ellsworth gets the Money in the Bank.
Wins. He's a women's champion.
That I don't want to say that happened, but something similar happened with China in a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, she won the Intercontinental title or something.
All right, Breezango versus the Colognes. Breezango wins, riding a very, very big hot streak right now. Not a win streak, but a hot streak. They're the most over team on either show, I think.
Yeah.
I love the water guns. I love the water guns.
The water
I
guns.
think you got what's that team back? What's that team with the face paint?
The Usos?
No,
No. Ascension.
The Ascension.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they need to bring the Ascension back quickly, or bring Sanity up to SmackDown very fast.
I think Sanity's gonna be in it's still gonna be in NXT for about a year.
I hate
In
Sanity
order
so
for the
much.
tag teams, for the tag team division on both shows to be more entertaining, and not even both shows, just Raw, you gotta bring up some more people. You
Well, I
gotta,
think the Revival being healthy in a few weeks will make it a lot better.
that'll help, but still, all you'll have is 4 tag teams.
Yeah, but the Revival versus the Hardys is going to be amazing.
I hope.
I can get behind that.
All right, so Breezango wins that match. Everyone's happy with it. The Colognes,
Not much to say about it.
whatever. It's just a match to keep them relevant.
They're good wrestlers.
Orton did. He was in the middle of the ring talking about how great he is, how many championships he's won, how it's just a minor setback until Jinder gets hindered, and then he gets interrupted by Jinder Mahal, and it was probably the weirdest segment of the night because I think the whole thing lasted about 2 minutes.
With like the weird clapping.
Yeah,
Although I have
5
to
minutes.
say, this is the best version of Randy Orton. Like my father and my grandfather are legends. I'm a legend too.
The only thing I didn't like about this segment, though, was like you saying, "I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna, beat ass and and shut
And then
everyone
he
up."
keeps talking.
And then he keeps talking. It's like then he keeps bitching about, Jinder Mahal. And it's like, okay, but then he comes back and is like, oh, I'm not talking, I'm just gonna do. And it's like, well, you just talked the entire time after you said you weren't going to. So it was kind of weird. And honestly, Randy at this point bores me. It's like, yeah, he still has the prestige of like who he is, but like his matches are so predictable. Like he gave like all the indie scene the whole like shit because he was like saying, oh, the matches are so predictable. It's like your matches are so predictable. I know every single move you're gonna do. It's just it's a formula. It's just he needs to change it up.
What was the main event of this? Is that the next segment?
That was the next segment, and then the final segment is the main event: AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler.
Great, much better match than it was. Like these are two of the highest work rate guys in WWE.
Oh, you didn't like the match?
I like the match. I just thought that match could have been so much better. But maybe you save that match for a pay-per-view because those two together would be insane.
I think AJ was supposed to have his foot on the rope, and then he didn't quite get it there. So like he actually left his foot on the rope for, like until like the cut to black. But like it was
a clear, clean win.
Yes, it was a clear victory for Ziggler. Keep in mind this was in Atlanta.
You always lose in your hometown.
Always lose in your hometown. Styles was dressed in all Falcons red and black, and he got shut down at the end.
Which means Randy Orton's going to lose the Money in the Bank. That's in St. Louis.
She won twice in her hometown.
So
literal.
So AJ Styles, he can take a loss and still be, phenomenal.
I mean, there's no reason he can't take a loss every now and then.
Big win for Ziggler, though. Ziggler hasn't had a meaningful win in a very long time.
He needs it.
He definitely needed it, and he talked about how he's the guy who's the only man in the match to have won in the Money in the Bank match to win Money in the Bank.
So we picked the women. Who's winning the men's Money in the Bank?
Who's in it?
Styles, Ziggler.
Ziggler. Is Orton in it?
KO. No. Orton's got Jinder that day.
All right.
In St. Louis, which means he's losing.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Corbin, and Zayn.
Maybe Nakamura wins?
Does Nakamura get the push this quickly? I think you got to give him the U.S. title first.
I'm going out of here. I'm going out. I'm thinking Sami Zayn wins.
Nah, not a chance.
Sami Zayn.
I disagree.
It's low. It's a high risk thing. I'm putting my money on.
You know what? Sami Zayn would be a good guy to take it off of Jinder.
He would.
People like Sami Zayn, so it makes sense.
But I like him. He's too small. His personality and his whole gimmick is that he's not a champion. He's just kind of there to make other people look good or to be the hero when we need a hero.
I don't know, man. I heard he's a huge pain in the ass in the.
No, I don't see it happening. And even if he does win Money in the Bank and he tries to go up against Jinder, I say Jinder will win.
I don't think AJ needs. I don't think AJ needs the briefcase.
AJ doesn't need the briefcase. It could be Kevin Owens. They've given him more than one belt to work with in the past.
Yes.
It's like,
I might go on a limb and think Ziggler wins it just to swerve us.
He could. He needs something.
It's going to be Corbin or Zayn.
I think Zayn. I think Zayn, when he does eventually win the title, I think it needs to be like a bit like against someone bigger than Jinder Mahal. So like I think like he's like the ultimate underdog. It needs to be someone really.
He's got to get a rub from like KO.
Well, he beat KO at like whatever it was.
Yeah, he already has a W over KO.
Yeah, but he's got to get the title rub from him because he's not getting it from Cena.
The next time they wrestle each other should be WrestleMania for the championship. Zayn versus Owens. It doesn't have to be next year. It doesn't have to be after that. The next time they fight each other seriously, it should be for a championship belt. And that's when Zayn should win the championship.
Yeah.
And then lose it the next day.
Yeah.
I would be very, very interested to see if Ziggler wins and then ends up taking the title.
I think if Ziggler wins, his ass is going to cash in and lose, which would be the greatest thing.
Please, they can't do that again.
They would only do that if he was planning on leaving.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
he's so comfortable.
There was a point in time when I was really pulling for Ziggler to like get a push, and I was like, I really like they do the Intercontinental thing with Miz. And then I just completely like stopped the push for him, and then I was just like, I forget it. I give up on Ziggler. So at this
Yeah,
point,
I'm done with Ziggler. I think he's a good wrestler, but I haven't been on. I've ever been on Ziggler, like Team Ziggler, ever.
I was on Team Ziggler when him and Lana kind of had a thing going. Like that made him.
Oh, that was the worst.
Your opinion is wrong, Hailey.
Apparently.
Like everyone knew that like Rusev and Lana were getting engaged. It just didn't work. It was
Yeah, I knew it too. It was fun and interesting to see her completely lose her Russian accent in the course of like a week.
yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was
funny.
interesting.
Yeah, the Americanization of Lana.
But it was
All
just
right,
weird because
that's-
I remember that segment. He was like, "Want to kiss? Want to kiss?" He's like, it's like awkwardly, slowly kissing. Like, "Want to do it again?" And she's like, It's just like really uncomfortable.
Right. So we're not going to talk about NXT this week. The only thing that happened was Ciampa comes out, tells his motivations for attacking Gargano,
And then says he's fucking injured.
He said, "Yeah, he got
right.
injured.
Well, he is injured,
He popped in,
and he wanted the other guy to be. He wanted Gargano to be injured so that neither of them are on TV because got to put more No Way Jose on TV.
That's a sociopath move, man.
Yeah.
Well, he basically said
then
he
you
didn't
got-
want to be replaced. So in order to prevent being replaced, he was going to take him out.
Then you had Danny Burch versus Pete Dunne, who's my favorite wrestler right now. Pete Dunne is a monster. Pete Dunne won.
He's the true king of strong style.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Bruiserweight.
100%. Pete Dunne is the best wrestler WWE had, pure wrestler WWE has right now. Then we got Cesar Bononi versus Andrade Cien Almas. Almas loses this match due to roll up. Dude, Cesar Bononi, I've never heard of him before. I've never seen him before. Probably a jobber, picks up a W over a guy who should have been on the main roster probably about 6 months ago in Andrade. They're going to do something with that. He's had a weird string of losses where he doesn't seem to care that he's losing. Then Roderick Strong and Cassius Ohno versus Sanity, which was a really, really fun match. Roderick Strong and Cassius Ohno pick up the win with the help of No Way Jose, who comes back after a long injury period. Last time we saw No Way Jose was around WrestleMania weekend. They beat Sanity. Probably going to get a 3-on-3 match next week. That's NXT. It was fun. We'll talk more about NXT next week. But for right now, we're going to give our predictions for this Sunday's pay-per-view at Extreme Rules. There are stakes in this.
Oh.
Whoever gets the most predictions right gets to have 5 minutes next week to talk about whatever they want.
That is a very
Uninterrupted
proposal. You realize I'm up right here, right?
Yes.
Oh.
All right. You could talk about anything you want. You want to talk about politics? Talk about it. I don't care. Talk about whatever you want. 5 minutes.
I veto on the politics.
Oh, you can talk about stop. You can talk about anything you want. Period. 5 minutes.
No politics.
Yeah.
Read off the card.
The first match of the card, which I think we're not going to pick, where it is on the card. I just have the card. Intercontinental Championship match with no champion's advantage. So the champion can't lose by disqualification, or else they lose the title. Period. The end.
It's a silly match to have at Extreme Rules. There's
I think
more rules.
it's really funny that it's a thing, and I think it plays really well into Dean Ambrose versus The Miz, because Dean Ambrose is so, his gimmick is I use weapons, to get the point across because I'm crazy. So, I think it'll be fun to see if Dean can stay within the lines for a match.
I gotta say, Miz wins by Maurice slapping him.
I think Miz wins too.
It's up for Miz to have the belt.
There's gonna be some shenanigan, but yeah, Miz is gonna win.
Or maybe the Drifter comes in and hits Miz. They got a little side deal.
Yeah, guys, hold on 1 second. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. My prediction is I think Ambrose wins. Just because
I'm thinking Dean Ambrose wins too, just because the Miz will get super pissed off and he has to stop making excuses.
I mean, the Miz is good as a heel and he's good as a champion. Like, as a heel champion, it's a really good mix, and the Miz does it so well. We've seen him do it so well. Dean Ambrose, he's good on the mic, and when he's got a title, it really doesn't help him nor does it hurt him. It just like he has it. So
Yeah,
I think for the sake of elevating the show, and let's face it, Raw needs a little bit of an elevation right now. I say Miz takes it.
Alrighty. Next match is Sasha Banks and Rich Swann in mixed tag action against Alicia Fox and Noam Dar.
The faces win.
Faces, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's an easy pick. There's no way that
Noam
Dar and Alicia Fox wins.
We've already seen Sasha beat Alicia, then we've already seen Rich Swann against Noam Dar. So putting them.
It's a way to get people to watch 205 Live. The faces got to win.
Yeah. All right, next match on the card is the Cruiserweight Championship match, which is a submission match. Neville versus Austin Aries.
Austin Aries.
Austin Aries needs the belt.
You got to give Aries the belt. I mean, what else can you do with Neville?
Austin Aries to just, keep things fresh.
I think if Austin Aries takes the belt and then you get TJ Perkins trying to as well as Neville, then I hope Neville kind of
TJ Perkins.
That's a good point.
TJ Perkins is a human fidget spinner. What's your pick?
The ultimate heel stable would just be like TJ Perkins and like some random dude that I also hate.
TJP. He's officially made himself more douchey by changing the name to just TJP.
Yep. All right. Next match is Tag Team Championship Steel Cage match. Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. I'm picking the Hardys because Sheamus and Cesaro have proven a lot that they can't beat the Hardys. They've been fighting every week since Mania against the Hardys and have not even been close to beating them once.
The Hardys have too much going for them at the moment.
I just think there's no reason to give Cesaro and Sheamus the belts.
Now,
so the Hardys got to win.
My secret wish, my secret hopes and dreams are that Cesaro and Sheamus will break up. And I know it won't happen now because the tag team division is so small, but I'm hoping in the future they will eventually break up, and I would like to see Cesaro go for maybe the Intercontinental Championship. I feel like he's got what it takes to be good solo. Like, he doesn't need Sheamus.
Yeah,
so that's my hope for him.
Like, part of me wants to see like a loss for the Hardys to kind of like start like the broken turn for Matt. I don't know if, like what's going to happen with legal issues and everything, but I still think the Hardys are going to win. But like I think at some point they're going to start to have to build, Matt becoming broken.
And that would be.
What if they break during the match?
A steel cage match would be a really good place to do that. So if you want to change your pick, Josh, you can.
The worst.
I'm not changing my pick. I want to see something like that happen, but I just know that it's going to go to the Hardys. Like, I'm still picking the Hardys.
All right, what about you, Riley?
I'm going to say the Hardys just because Sheamus and Cesaro win, and they'll keep this feud going, and even they have to realize it's run its course by now. They've wrestled so many times.
All right.
Well, it's because the other guys are injured.
The next match is the Women's Championship Kendo Stick on a pole match. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. It's like Bayley. You can't with Bayley. It's especially like a kendo stick match. Like I just can't see her winning an Extreme Rules match.
Bayley's gonna get the kendo stick, and Alexa's gonna steal it from her and win. It's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right.
I was thinking the opposite. I think Alexa gets it. Bayley looks strong, beats her up, but still loses.
Oh, all right. So
Bayley
we're all
loses.
picking Bliss.
We're all picking
There's
Bliss.
no reason for her to lose the belt.
Just a side note. What is Alexa Bliss's finisher? Is it that DDT she does?
Yeah, it's the DDT.
Wow. Throwback to Jake the Snake, I guess.
I mean, it's a lot stronger than Bayley's.
Oh, I know. The DDT should be like a end game move, but just like
So who has a stronger DDT? Alexa Bliss or the Glorious One?
Randy Orton has the best DDT in the WWE. He does off the ropes.
What's his face? I think it was Danny Burch during the Pete Dunne match in NXT. He did a draping DDT from the third rope that looked amazing.
Yeah, I mean that move should be lights out, but it's just become a setup move, except for Alexa Bliss now. I don't know.
All right. Next match and the final match of the card is the number 1 contenders fatal 5-way match, which is Extreme Rules. Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe.
I'm gonna go with Finn Balor.
I hate to say it, but it's going to be Finn, and he's going to be the sacrificial lamb for Brock.
All right, so Haley picked Reigns. Parker, you got Finn.
Yeah. As much as I don't want him to win this match.
Josh, who you got?
I got Finn Balor. I think the segment they had with Paul Heyman kind of was like foreshadowing.
All right, I am going.
The only one that's been getting promos out of those.
I'm going to pick Rollins because I think he can win this match and lose to Lesnar and not look like shit after that.
That's what I'm afraid about Finn. Like, does it sidetrack him hard?
It would. And since he's not as established as...
But what I think should happen, let's just put this all in perspective. I think Finn should win. There's no way Braun's not healthy enough to come to Great Balls of Fire. He just comes in and beats up Finn. And Finn still looks strong, and that starts the feud. I think that's how you should do it.
All right, what about Riley?
Roman Reigns doesn't lose. He wins at everything.
I said Finn Balor for the pure purpose that he's like the only one out of those 5 that's been getting promos.
But what I'm really scared of is Finn coming out as the demon.
He got injured.
No. Oh, yeah.
Lose. That's my whole
If
thing.
Finn comes out as the demon and loses to Brock Lesnar, the demon character's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the demon character only lost once, I think.
I bet all 4 of them have to go out after Roman.
All right, so I'm going to give a rundown of who picked who. Parker, you picked The Miz, The Faces, Austin Aries, Hardy's, Balor.
Yep.
All right, Josh, you picked The Miz, The Faces, Austin Aries, Hardy's, Bliss, and Finn Balor. So you and Parker have the exact same picks. So you're gonna
because we're smart.
The 5 minutes next week if you win. Haley picked The Miz, The Faces, Austin Aries, The Hardys, Bliss, and Roman Reigns.
Okay, almost the same. Except
One difference.
I picked Ambrose, The Faces, Austin Aries, The Hardys, Bliss, and Seth Rollins.
A lot of differences.
And Riley picked Ambrose, The Faces, Austin Aries, The Hardys, Bliss, and Finn.
So like the only difference is like one match for everybody. It seems like I think it's going to come down to the main event.
Reminds me of
It's going to come down to the main event and
in the IC title match.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll keep these in mind as the next show gets written. The next and final thing I want to do is if there's any wrestling news or rumors that you guys have heard about. I know that Josh has something he wants to talk about, or Parker. Please let me know, and you can talk about it right now.
What? What do I want to talk about?
Rumors.
I thought you said you had news and rumors.
I mean,
Rumor.
I said like I knew stuff about one thing. I don't know if that's. It's not
There's 2 good rumors I heard. That the Cass heel turn is happening.
What?
That the Cass heel turn is happening.
Okay.
And then the reason Rusev isn't back is because Jinder has the title, and they have no plans for him now.
I thought Rusev wasn't back because he wanted to watch Nashville uninterrupted be in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, maybe that's it, but from what I heard, it's because they have no plans for him.
Yeah, I heard that same thing too.
He's been at every Nashville game since the playoffs started.
But I do have one question for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, you got to pick your all-time Survivor Series team. You have 5 people,
Jesus.
but 2 of them have to be in a tag team.
Okay, so it's
A tag team plus 3.
3 guys in a tag team.
Yep.
Do they have to be all male?
Yeah, let's not do a mixed match.
Okay. You want to go first?
I'll go first. Okay,
Yeah.
so my tag team, Brothers of Destruction. So I get Kane and Taker.
Okay.
I'd put The Rock, Stone Cold, and I'd probably go Cena just because I'm a Cena mark.
What's the premise of this game? Someone explain to me what this
picking
game
the
is.
5 most overpowered people.
Just
in
the
all
people that you would
WWE
put to
history.
win?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Like if you had to pick your Survivor Series team, and like WCW on, so it can be like old guys too.
Oh gosh.
All right. I'm gonna put my tag team is gonna be Diesel and Razor Ramon. Then it's gonna be Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and AJ Styles.
That's a hell of a team.
I like Brothers of Destruction too. I mean, because you get Kane and Undertaker there. I also like The Rock. I'm gonna have to say for the other two, just because of like, just like any time period, like I'm gonna have to put Hulk Hogan because of the star power he brought. And then my last guy, I want someone a little more finesse, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I think I said The Rock already, right? Yeah. So.
You can have The Rock and Rocky Maivia.
I'll go Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels.
All
right, Hailey.
I'd have Mick Foley. Dude's indestructible.
Go, Hailey. If you're gonna go Foley, go The Rock and Sock Connection. So you got The Rock and Mankind.
All right. So that's my tag team is Rock and Mankind. Oh gosh.
And then three other guys.
Do they have to have like connections, or can they just?
No, it can be whoever you want.
Whoever. All right. Who am I bringing to the party? Edge. Edge would be a fun one to bring. He'd keep the mood light and upbeat.
This is a Survivor Series match, not a part.
It's a party in my head. Okay, so yeah.
John Morrison.
Johnny Mundo.
Chris Benoit. No.
No.
Oh, shoot.
Just like a Chris Benoit joke on the first episode of my podcast.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Okay, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan in his prime. I would bring Daniel Bryan. We would have fun. The third guy, last guy.
Your pick.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm on track. So we got my two tag team people. Those two.
You have The Rock. You have Mick Foley.
You have Mick Foley as Mankind.
And you have
Daniel Bryan.
Which is a pretty decent set of four right there.
All right, and then I'd bring in Brock Lesnar.
And then Brock Lesnar.
Bork Laser.
All right, Riley.
It's harder.
Okay,
It's harder
my
than
answer
think
is
to do
hell if I
this.
know. I said I've been watching wrestling for 3 months. I don't think I can name 5 wrestlers, much less 5 good ones. So
Jack
pass.
Gallagher.
No, you have to do it.
God
Jack
damn it.
Gallagher. Put Jack Gallagher for the fun.
All right, I'll just name the 5 ones that I like, even though they're stupid.
All of them cruisers.
Doesn't matter. Go for it.
Gallagher, who's a good tag team that I like that's also stupid. Breezango.
God.
This is already the worst Survivor Series team of ever. Shane O'Mac was literally just on a Survivor Series team.
Ellsworth.
All right, who's the team captain? Who's your last guy?
The gobbledygooker.
Riley would totally like the gobbledygooker.
What name is that even?
The midget. What's the midget?
Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle.
Dude, he'd never get eliminated. He'd just hide under the ring.
All right, and with that and those predictions, guys,
just told us who our favorite guys are.
We are going to sign off on the first ever episode of the podcast. I think we did a good job. Tune in next week for more Unprotected Headshots.
Tune in
next week for more Unprotected Headshots. Follow us on Twitter at UPHS Podcast and at our Patreon. Please feel free to donate to help get us actual lighting and all kinds of other things to make the podcast better for everybody else. Our Patreon is www.patreon.com/unprotectedheadshots. This has been us, and you've been you, and this is the end.
Hey, did we ever get any more viewers?
No. Carl's going to cut this up later.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.